Okay, so now this is a human informed consent form, and I've got this up on a split screen now because I want to show you how the the information the student was supposed to put in their research plan correlates and relates to what needs to go on the human informed consent form. A human informed consent form is required of any and all projects that involve human research, even if they're just taking asking questions, doing surveys, what have you. I think the only exception is where students might be doing some online surveys. There is a tab on the website that gives students instructions on doing online surveys and how that they have to gain consent on online surveys. But this is basically for students who are, actually talking to live people and gathering information. So what the student needs to do is on this form is their name, the title of their project, or again the question that they're asking. And then they talk about what the purpose of the project is. They have to talk about what the participants will actually be doing on the project, how much time they would expect the participant to take. If they're taking a test, it's going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however. Potential risks that are involved in the study, the benefits of the study, and how the confidentiality is going to be maintained. And the reason why I brought this research plan up over here is because so many of the things that the student discussed in their research plan, or were supposed to discuss in their research plan, down here on human participants research, is repetitious. It's redundant here of what goes. So a lot of the information that they need for this form should already be in their research plan. So their protection of privacy. Well, that's how confidentiality is going to be maintained. The risk assessment. Okay, that's the potential risk involved. Methods and recruitment and stuff. So a lot of this stuff on this form goes on this form. So I'll close that and I'll make this a bigger form now. So at any rate, so you fill out that part, and then the bottom part down here does not get filled out until the student actually starts doing their experimentation. This form does need to come to the SRC, IRB, the review committee. We need to read it. We need to see what the student has said in here. And if that project is approved, then the next step will be for the student to make multiple copies of this form, and then they use this form with their participants, and they have their participants, if they're adults, the adult signs and dates the form, and if they're students, they sign and date it, but they also have to have the parent guardian permission signed and dated. So again, this form should come to us in October, November, but nothing in the bottom should be filled out yet, because this is for the student to use after they are approved. We do see a lot of these forms come to us where the student is already, they thought their parent or somebody needed to sign it, but they shouldn't be. They should be left blank. Now, this form will come back to us if the student is going to be participating in the Ying Expo. Then when they submit the paperwork in January for the Ying Expo, we need one copy of the consent form, and they use the term redacted. So what the student should do, or the teacher should do, the adult sponsor maybe, is take one of these forms and mark out the participant's name and their signature. Leave the date, but black out the signature and the name, and submit a copy of that form to us with the paperwork for registration, because we do need what they call a redacted informed consent form. The student then keeps all of these forms. There's actually a procedure that I'll discuss in the next video, but they need to keep all these forms with them, and they don't need to bring them to the Ying Expo. They're supposed to put them in an envelope and hold on to them. So, and I'll cover that in the video that goes with the next form that has to do with human research. So that's it for this form, and on to the next.